So yeah, the last point that we want to bring up with you guys today is surrender is key. So how can we be the parents God has called us to be when life doesn't go as planned?
Yeah.
Surrender. You know, if this has taught me anything, is that control is an illusion. You think you can control your child probably right up until they start moving in any capacity on their own. In the course, the older they get, the more they have their own ideas and their own thinking and their own way of doing things. And it sometimes, as Christians, we want our kids to be shaped in a certain way, so we end up focusing so heavily on just trying to control them. Like, hey, don't do this. Don't say that. Don't be like this. Don't say that to your sister. Don't yell when you're doing this. Don't run around naked. I mean, we have to say, I don't know if your kids do, but, put your clothes on. And we end up just like always trying to shape them in this way that, kind of just becomes this kind of raw external thinking. And the truth is, for us, especially when we had our special needs kids, we started to realize, wow, I can't control anything.
Right.
They're gonna do almost anything they want. They end up controlling our environment at times. If Mara's mad, everybody's upset. Mm-hmm. If Mara's happy, then we can all be happy. And you get these sways back and forth. And in the midst of all that, we had to realize, how do we get through this? If we can't control it, how do we make it through it? And that's how the kingdom works. It's the opposite. You surrender.
Right.
Surrender is the key.
Yeah, and I look, growing up myself, I was very much a perfectionist. And I feel like I approached life, and I think a lot of us approach life this way, with just this clenched fist. Like, I'm going to control everything. I'm going to get 100 on everything, and I'm going to go to a good college, and I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to have this life planned out for me. And it's like, I feel like not that God caused the trials in our life, but it says he uses everything for the good of those who love him. Yeah. And I think it's just like this, he's like prying my fingers off my life and just being like, this isn't the way life is meant to be lived, with this clenched fist. It's meant to be lived with an open hand, because if my fist is clenched, guess what I can't do? I can't receive anything from God. I can't know what his will is for my life. He can't teach me anything because I'm in control. Like, I'm in the driver's seat. But the more we can learn to live, and especially as parents, with this open hand, every trial you face, God's going to give you something. Like, he's not making you go through these storms to take something away from you, but that's what it feels like in the middle of it. Yeah. He's actually causing us to go through these things because he wants to give us something. And to have that mindset, man, I'm going to let go. I'm going to trust God even in the middle of this chaos and believe he's trying to give me something, whether that's to grow closer to him or to teach him an aspect, of his character that we didn't understand before, or to give us a direction to what our life calling is. I mean, I look at our own life and I think so much of what God's called us to do is because and through our pain, and how God's using us has been directly related to the very trials and struggles we faced as a family.
Yeah, the place that we have found ourselves in with so many families that have been in similar situations would never have existed without the very pain that we so desperately want and try to avoid in life. And, this thought that if we're in control of it, that things are going to go well, is really just a lie. Because at the end of the day, we know, especially as Christ followers, that if we put our trust and faith in Jesus, life will go much better than if we're in charge of it.